Hey campers, George here. Chilly evening at the cottage and just sitting here and enjoying the evening, and was doing some whittling on a new big stick. This is a stick I found when I was out camping. I did an overnight over at Sakata Lake, and I was walking around, trudging around in the bush as I normally do, and came across the stick just lying there, and thought it would make a nice walkabout stick. It's a really nice size. You can see here it's just the right length. I just got to clean it up, and that's what I've been doing. I've been just taking the bark off and getting it prepared so that I can do some stuff to it and play with a little bit and make myself a new walkabout stick for my casual walkarounds that I do. I do have my other one, and I'll put a link up here that'll give you a link to one that I made, a multitasking walking stick that turned into a chair. But this one's just going to be a regular stick, and I'll do some modifications to it, clean it up and fancy it up a little bit and use it there. It is an interesting stick. I have it here, and you can see this is the top, and I've cleaned it up, and you'll see in the pictures and the video coming up there. It was kind of messed up. There's a couple of problems with it. In this top part here, the wood is a little punkified. I'm not sure what causes that, but not all of it is, and it just seems like the top layer, and I've had to clean it up a little bit. But you can see here, it's a nice stick. Hopefully, get it to take on a walkabout. Winter's coming quickly, and you know how I do like to walk around in the snow. It's always so quiet and peaceful, so maybe this will be a new good companion. Anyway, check it out. Let me know what you think. The new big stick. Got to get it cleaned up and figure out what I'm going to do with this. I need a big stick. One I can use for just a general walkabout. I really liked it. Here you can see the top of it where the roots were. Maybe I can do something with that. So I'm slowly taking the bark off, and I noticed something when I was taking the bark off, and that is, I don't know if you can see this, these lines all over the wood. Almost looks like pencil marks. Very nice effect. I like that. And I'm not sure what causes it, but it looks very nice. And you can see I've started taking the bark off. So when I was looking at the top piece, unfortunately you can see here, it's kind of punk wood on the outside, which means I'm gonna lose a lot of this. Maybe there's a way I can fill it to make it strong and then carve it. Maybe use some sort of filler and some varnish or something to strengthen it up and then clean it up. We'll see. So I'm in the man cave, which is a disaster area right now. I'm still sorting it out, and polycrylic protective finish, and it's a clear crystal finish. Put it all over this punkwood area on the top of the stick, wherever it needs it. Let it dry, see if that'll seal it up, and I can work with it a little better. Can see what I'm doing here, just on the tips where, because when you work it with a knife it tends to break up, and it's really, I don't want to say brittle, it's more fluffy than anything else. And I'm hoping by putting this on it'll make it a little bit more solid. One other thing I wanted to do, and as you can see along here there's a big crack, and I'm going to use this same stuff just to fill that in. So there you go. We'll let it dry overnight for a couple of hours, and hopefully it'll look okay, and then I can use it to clean it up and maybe carve it up a little bit better and make it nice and smooth with some sandpaper or something like that. So here you can see I've been sandpapering covering that I put on to try and save that punk wood thing on it, and it has certainly made it stronger, and I'm able to sand it down, smooth it out so that it's not all looking like it's falling apart. Decide what I want to do with this head. I love the shape of this and the whole head on this, so I feel I got to do something with it. I don't want to do too much, but just try and looking at it like that, I think some eyes and it might look like something. But we will see. I got to sand all the rest down here, maybe doing a little bit of carving on it and that sort of thing. So working on the big stick and just whittling away, making some different markings on it. Nothing special. They mean nothing, just random markings that amuse me. Keeps me busy. You can see here I'm making holes in the wood, and I'll fill it with a darker stain to make some patterns. You can see I'd filled in here. I'd made some holes right there. Can you see those two dark spots? And I just dug in some holes and filled it, and I'm gonna try to scrape the excess away. So it's coming away here, and here you can see I kind of did the same thing here, but I didn't really darken it. I just used a wood filler and then scraped away the excess. I'm doing the same here, but I did use a dark stain to the filler to make it a little darker, and let's see what we get from that. And just a heads up, obviously I don't have a bushcrafting knife. I'm using my little pocket pal here, my Buck, my long-time companion, and it's really the smallest blade I have, and just using him to pare out this wood. Let me get my hand out of the way. And it looks like it may have worked. Just do a little bit more paring away here. And there you can see the holes that I put in have shown up with a white background, just like that one did there. So that could work with a little bit more work and being a little bit more careful in how I fill them. I think that I could come up with some pretty cool patterns on a piece of wood. And here you can see I just dug it out and put a stain in there. I've still got to clean that up. And you know, we've got some different things that I've been trying out, working on it. So here you can see this is where I filled in. I just made this upside down T here, filled that in, and then filled these holes in here. I've cleaned it up a little bit, sandpapered it down, and to see how the effect works. And it seems okay. I've got to get rid of this dark area here, which is basically a stain. I just need to maybe sand it down a little bit. There's some experimenting for you. I like the way this worked out. I think if I can get a darker stain and really make it dark, I think it'll look pretty cool, and I can come up with maybe some good patterns. These were just obviously carved out, and then I put a stain inside the carved out area just to get those lines on there, and a couple of X's and O's. Here I'm going to try again. I've cut in here, you can see there, cut in. The problem that I'm going to have is when you put it in there, the stain will seep into the wood. So you won't get the exact hole you made. It's going to seep a little bit. But we'll see how that works. So I've basically finished with all the carving and symbols I want to put on it. And I've just wiped it all down, get it all cleaned up and ready for putting on the polycrylic protective finish, this stuff here. And what I'm going to do is cover the whole big stick with it. It's a nice solid coating which dries hard and will protect it. And then I'll be putting on the handle. And what I'm going to do is I just got some basic paracord here, 550 heavy duty paracord, I bought 100 foot of it, I don't know. I'll just wrap it and maybe put a little bit of a pattern in it. I still need to think about the head, what I want to do with it. But I want to get it as finished as much as possible and maybe do an update once I've figured out what I want to do with the head. And another thing I'll be doing is putting on a 2CG sticker on it, which I will coat as well. So let me show you the patterns that I decided to put on it. They just simply random patterns that came to mind as I was carving. So here you can see the bottom, I darkened it simply to give it a darker look. That's what's going to be hitting the ground a lot, and I just wanted not, to show too much damage. I've coated it a couple of times and just made it a little darker and fading in here. And then a little bit further up here you can see the patterns. And these are the patterns that I've carved on it. Random patterns, don't really mean anything, and I just thought it gave it a kind of a native style look to it. And then the handle will go up here. I've got to measure it to make sure that it's at the right height and things like that. So here's the stick. Basically I'm finished, and you can see I have the handle on. Use some 550 cord, and I still want to work on the head, so we'll see how we do there, what I come up with. Haven't quite decided yet. See the handle there, and a loop just to go around my hand in case I trip or something, I don't lose the stick. And I put the standard 2CG sticker on. So you can see here, I'm all ready. Now this loop, I would normally just put my hand through it and keep it on me, and then I'm ready to go walk about. I got the handle. If I trip or something like that, I won't lose the stick. If I fall down, it'll be close by and may need it to get back up. So it's just a safety loop so I don't lose my stick. And I'll just step back here so that you can see how it measures up against me and where the handle is. So basically we're ready to go and do a winter walkabout. We have a companion, a big stick. So maybe I'll just have a video coming up on that. Another thing is, I went shopping and bought myself a new cutter. This is the Condor Tool and Knife Bushlaw. And it's a little bit better for carving and that sort of thing. Maybe light duty chores around the camp. It'll be a backup knife for me. I do have my Knives of Alaska one that I use to do this stuff. But it's not really designed for that, and this is a little bit better. I'm not looking to do fancy stuff. I'd like to do as much as I can, but I'm not going to go and buy a bunch of woodworking tools just for my little pastime. So I want to use what I have with me when I take camping. So the better the knife design for it, probably the better I can do. Well, that's the plan anyway. So don't forget, like, share, subscribe. You know the story. And I'm pretty sure I'll be back again with something. Maybe a walk around using my third leg. Just saying. Thanks for watching.